What's up, guys? My name is Mr. Turley, and this is the track review of GasperHills. So, pretty cool overall. It's actually a really good, well-made track overall. It's once you actually ride on it, you'll realize it's actually a very unique style track just by the layout of it and everything. So, just from the outside, it kind of looks a little bit more on the basic side, but really, once you actually ride on the track itself, you realize how interesting the layout of it actually is. So it reminds me a lot of that one, I can't remember that track on Untamed. It's been so long since I played those older games, but I think it's Untamed or Unleashed, one of those where it's like it was such a unique layout where it was like you just had... It was super kind of on the tighter side of a motocross track, like really narrow, but it had a lot of really like uphill tight. It's hard to explain it, but maybe I'll actually play that game or something one day and show you guys. But it's kind of got that same like filling vibe to it overall, where it's just got the interesting layout. Like it's not flat. You're constantly kind of going like up hills and around the bends and kind of things like that. And you have some really tight, interesting corners and stuff. But you also have like a little bit on the more flowing kind of corners at the same time. And you got a couple of really bigger jumps and a lot of smaller jumps too. So, but... yeah, that's a really fun little jump right there. And the weird thing is there's a jump just like that on that track I was telling you guys about on Untamed, or Unleashed, Untamed. I get them so confused. I can't remember which one it was on, but yeah, so just kind of reminds me of that track for sure. So, but definitely a fun track. I mean, if this track was in real life, I would definitely hit this up on a real dirt bike for sure. It'd be a ton of fun. So, but like right here, see how it's like just gets super tight all of a sudden, and it's just got just interesting layout overall to it, and the jumps are like perfectly built as well. So, but it's just like there's nothing better than those tracks that are like right at about that medium difficulty to where they've got challenge here and there, but also you can just sit there and run laps on it fairly easy. But I also like difficult tracks at the same time too. So it's all in kind of what you like, but this is for all skill levels of people kind of tracks. So, but ground decal looks really good. The off-track stuff really fits with like the layout of the track as well. It all just kind of comes together for one good-looking track overall. So, all right, so let me play this back right here. Let me get in third person. So, yeah, just the trees off the track look pretty good. All the banners and the billboards are all like in perfect position, and it makes the entire track come together, if that makes sense. So this first little section, you can actually get a pretty interesting little rhythm going through it on a 450 anyways. You can kind of like hop and do like a triple quad kind of sort of on those little rollers. So a nice little uphill quad kind of jump section. It's not too big though, so you should be fine on it. So, but yeah, it's just like, I could see this track. God, I think I've said that before in a video before. Oh, man, this track, okay. I'm pretty sure I could see this track in a actual game, like Reflex or something like that. I could see this being in it. So, and that's saying a lot, man, to actually be able to just make a custom track that could be in a real motocross game. That takes some time, man, and... the ground decal, you can see it right here. Like it actually kind of looks like it gets a little bit slicker in some spots, and it looks different here and there. It doesn't just look like it just copied over and over and over kind of decal. Like there's actually some different areas to it, and that always makes the ground decal look good. So and this off-track kind of vibe he's got going on looks good too. It's pretty mellow in some spots off-track, but what's right beside the track looks really, really good and kind of makes up for everything else. So this right here is probably the funnest section on the track. Just a super big little double that you can hit, really big face on it. So those kind of jumps are always fun to just whip it all the way backwards on. So, but yeah, just cool overall. And, you know, I really wasn't expecting this track to be this good when I first downloaded it. I was like, oh, it's probably just another kind of just super chill, mellow, not all that fun of a like just older track, but it actually is a lot of fun. There's a lot of interesting rhythms you can hit, and just the layout of it, like that's what I can't get over. It's just the overall layout so interesting, how the corners just bend a certain way. It's like he just really thought about the layout. If this isn't a real track, it should be, because this layout is really cool. And if that's another tip I could give you guys, I mean, that's one thing that's the hardest thing. Like if you're going in to build a custom track and you don't really have a layout in mind, a lot of times you get done with the track and you sit there and go, oh man, that's not the best layout. But it's like, it's so hard to just sit there and actually make a really cool, unique layout. That's one of the hardest things I've found, especially nowadays making custom tracks. I've made quite a few, if you guys know, but that's one of the hardest things I've found nowadays, is actually just getting a unique layout to the entire track to where it all looks natural and fits in, but it's also an interesting layout at the same time. That's one of the hardest things I've found. So, but yeah, just cool track overall. And so I'm going to give this track a solid 10 overall. I think it's a really fun track and really good, and the roughness is good. Got a couple of cool rut lines. The jump section's very interesting, not too difficult, but pretty unique and interesting. So, and I'm going to say the difficulty is, I'm going to say it's medium. So anyways, so that's it for this video, guys, and I appreciate all you guys watching. Thanks.